Hi, everyone. Good morning. Today's discussion is empathy for dogs. Now, I have to ask you, when you watch a movie and you see a dog die in the movie, do you boo-hoo like I do? I bet you do. How come that's not the same when we watch humans die in a movie? What is it about dogs that we get so upset when we see them and they are being hurt or abused? That's today's discussion. I want to thank everyone, our paid supporters, our new friends, and our loyal fans for being here this morning. We're going to do something new today, folks. Today, we're going to be multi-streaming, or we are multi-streaming over a number of different platforms, and we're going to be bringing guests into the show that are actually our fans. So you're going to be able to discuss this with us. First thing I want to do is play a video for you so that you can get an idea. Now, this is a video that it's not super graphic or anything, and a dog isn't being hurt or anything, so I don't want you to think that. But what it is about is you watch this dog that apparently must have had a really good home at one time, and somehow it lost its way back home. It obviously is starved for love, starved for affection, starved for human contact. And when you see how the interaction occurs between the human and that, I know you'll feel that empathy. And once you have that feeling in your heart, I want you to think about, where is that coming from? Why do I feel that way? What is it about me that makes me feel that way? And also, what makes me get angry when I see a dog get hurt? Okay, folks. So here we go. I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna share this real quick here. And by the way, this is under beta, so I really, for those of you that don't know what beta is, it means that they're testing and there's going to be glitches. And if there is, I will let you know ahead of time. And I hope there isn't going to be, but you never know. Okay, here we go. I'm going to play this. Okay. Wow. I don't know about you, but the tears, I've seen it so many times. Whoops. Oh, wait. Sorry. A little glitch on my end. Okay. So now what we're going to do, hey, Kylie, we can't see that your camera is on. I know I'm going to bring you into the show. So if you could refresh, and then when you come back in, you got to click the button to make certain that your camera is on. Okay, so now I'm going to bring Lou in. Hi, Lou.
Hi, Kathy. Hi, everybody.
Hi, everyone. Okay, now anyone that wants to join, in the description, you should see that there's a link if you want to join. Okay, so what did you think of that, Lou? When it comes to
Well, I tell you, I mean, obviously, it tears, it not tears, it just gives you a ton of joy to see how much empathy was created. And I just wrote something down. I said, rescuing it was Leela, right? Leela? Uh,
Leela, right?
Leela was a great thing to do. It made her, that is the individual, what was her name? I don't know who she was. It made her experience joy and so much satisfaction, and you saw that in the tears in her eyes, in the hug of the dog. She
Yeah,
just experienced that love that was being generated inside of her from that act of contribution to that dog. And
right.
of course, the dog did the same. The dog just fell into that experience of love, which is really what we're all about. We are really come from that place. The
I
question is, why in the world would anyone not get that out there
Yes,
and not recognize the true value of empathy and consideration and contribution? Why aren't people like that? And so, of course, I have an idea about that, Kathy.
yeah. Hang on just one second. Hey, Kylie, and there's a couple others here. If you didn't go and look at the instructions on how to enter the show, you might want to do that first, because when you come in, you have to be able to test your camera and your microphone. Right now, it's showing that you're. Oh, there you go. Okay, all right, here we go. There's Kylie. Hi,
Hi, sorry.
Kylie.
Hi,
I was
Kylie.
just, hi. Sorry, I was just unmuting the camera. My fault.
Oh, okay, all right.
So what a gift! What a gift that dog was. What a wonderful gift that was, and her causing that, her going there, going out of the way to actually make a contribution to that particular object. To me, that dog there, like the object of a child or anything else, that's there for you to be able to get and take. And for some reason, human beings don't get that. There are all those gifts out there. Why in the world aren't you getting that?
Well, you know what drives me? Here's an issue, and Lou, you and I talked about this yesterday. I have this thing about, why don't people get real upset when they see a dog that has been hurt or abandoned or something? They're over there and they're taking pictures and they're taking videos, and, oh, you got to help this dog, you got to help this dog. And why don't they do anything? I think it's because they're afraid to get involved because of the money. It's
Well,
going to cost me to take this dog to a vet or something. They don't want to do that. Now, if they saw this dog with a homeless person on the street and they knew that it was the homeless person's responsibility, they would be more likely to want to help that person. But with the dog alone or being hurt, why don't they step up to the plate and do something? I don't get it.
I think it's the same issue that we as human beings have. When you see a homeless person outside and you walk by and you don't put the dollar in the thing, or the half a dollar in, or the quarter in there, you don't support, don't do that. There's the human beings are all, unfortunately, more so into themselves. They're run by either two things. They're either run by fear or love. And they're afraid they're going to lose money. They're afraid that they're being taken advantage of. They have a whole story, a litany of things that they tell themselves that stops them from actually experience the power of love. And
Yeah.
the power,
Yeah.
the power of being able to go there and just be connected and get that everything on this planet is connected to us, and that our ability to actually cause that is so powerful. It is the power of truly love that we have internally that we mask with fear.
Hmm.
And so there's those two elements in the world that we operate from, either fear or love. And the sooner we get as a community of people that the gifts that are available to us show up. That dog showed up with its face, it's everything about it. It's telling you, take me. I am your gift.
Right.
That
Right.
when you take me, all the chemicals inside of me are being stirred up automatically. They're being stirred up, and they're going to that part of me that says, you matter. So why wouldn't you want to do that?
Yeah. And on top of that, you're absolutely right. It's a physical change that occurs when you see this happening. I mean, compassion is not sympathy. Compassion is something that's so very, very personal that you can feel it inside you. You can feel the anger. You can feel the heaviness in your chest when you see something, when you see a dog that has been hurt. So you're absolutely right, Lou. Hey, Kylie, what's your opinion on why do people um, why do people become empathetic and compassionate more so towards dogs than towards people?
I think maybe it has to do with the fact that, like an animal is more helpless than a human being. As humans, we have a little bit more control over what happens to us in a sense, if that makes sense.
Uh-huh.
But kind of touching back on what Lou was saying, it's kind of amazing that we can even connect with these animals on like a soul basis. You know what I mean? Like we really do. Like
Yes.
when you have a dog that's like that you're petting, or you feel a certain connection, but it's a unspoken connection, and that's something that in itself, like you were talking about, just how amazing creation is in general, and the fact that we can have like that unique connection with something that can't even technically
Well,
communicate with us, like that blows my mind. So I know that wasn't really answering your question, but
Yeah.
like I had to touch on what he was saying a little bit.
well, I think Kyle, you touched it, and by the way, it's a scientific fact that what happens to you when you go to a something that you have a connection to, a spiritual connection to. This is not belief systems now. This is
Okay.
actually what happens is there's the touching process, there's the contribution, the act of giving stimulates that part of your brain with endorphins called oxytocin, dopamine, and serotonin. And those chemicals go to that part of the brain, and they actually cause you to feel good. You get goosebumps. You feel so great. It's a chemical reaction because that's what we're made up of.
Yeah.
So the problem is the ignorance, and I think Kathy touched on that, is that most people don't know that. They don't understand that they have every moment of their day the opportunity of making a difference to somebody, whether it's your
Yeah.
parents, your boyfriend, your spouse, your relationship. You find reasons to go and contribute to, and dogs are so easy to do that with. They
Oh,
are unconditional lovers.
no
They,
matter what.
what do you need from me? You kick me and I'll love you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
You
Yeah.
know.
true
And
though.
and and
So
they
like,
don't ask for much. They're so
there's, I
undemanding.
mean, it is that gift. Humans, unfortunately, they bring a lot of baggage with them. You try to love them, and sometimes they're in their head, and they got all the garbage going on, and they
Yeah,
just
the story.
they're
Yeah,
anger and upset, and so got it. Dogs don't do that.
yeah,
Dogs
you're
are
absolutely
unconditional.
That's
They,
an
right.
I
yeah.
was just gonna say that's like an elevated way of thinking though, because like just recognizing, you know, all the different like parts of Earth. You know what I mean? There's so many different
We're
moving
all
components that
we're
like just recognizing it is something
oh,
that people don't even do. But how can
I
you
got
not?
it. I
You know what I
understand. And
mean?
our aim in the dog connection and in my living SOS, which is is what I'm now committed to as a lifelong promoter of transforming, as long as I'm alive in this planet, transforming this planet, which is happening so much with so many people out there, great authors and spiritual people that are really getting to understand. But what's happening now more than ever is that science is proving that actually exists, that we are wired to make a difference in the world, and that dogs and cats and animals, all these are gifts that are given to us to allow us to experience ourselves the joy that occurs from contribution, making a difference.
Mm-hmm.
And we're definitely on target. I'm so happy a young person is on this line, because you represent the future, Kyle. You are the way this universe is going to be, and all you have to do is be conscious about that, and be an example. You don't need to have to be you don't have to be over there as much as I do the talking. I like to live SOS. I live a life of making a difference and contributing to the betterment of the human condition. That's my life. If somebody wants to come and teach this to somebody, say, first live it.
Right.
And be an example.
Yes.
And then things will happen in this world, and it's happening. I am very optimistic that it's going to happen. And Kathy's work that she does, it just makes that real. You being who you are does that. I just love to hear young people talk like this.
Yeah. That's why I asked Kylie to come on the show. I had the opportunity to meet her yesterday. Her dad introduced me, and her dad is doing a show just like this, and I'm helping him with it. So she's going to be the producer.
Excellent.
Of the show. So this is experience for her.
Kathy's the mastermind, you know. We're trying to learn a couple things, you know.
So it's good intention. This is the thing. The thing is that we all are here, good intention. We got to make this a pleasant experience for the people that come on board. All of you should walk away being moved, touched, and inspired, both by seeing this wonderful video that really demonstrate what empathy is all about, and then understanding the true value of that experience, that what happened there enlightened and lit people up. That experience, so that gift lit that person up, and so it's a great experience. And thank you, Kathy, for being so willing to push through all the barriers that both technologically and mentally to make this happen. You're great.
Well, when we talk about the dogs in general, not just empathy for dogs, I know it's a show about that, but because they contribute so much to us, I think people miss that totally, what they do for us. Look at the person that has a service dog or an assistance dog. Their life totally changes 100% when that dog comes into their life. It's like they've been given a lifeline, because that dog is performing a function for them that they cannot do for themselves.
Yeah, there's a good point, and I look at what that experience touched. The person that trained that dog, the person that is the teacher, is the one that goes out of his way to mold that gift of being the best it could be. I mean, it's inspirational to me that every time I hear stories about teachers, that they're capable of actually transforming people's lives. And here, he knows, or she knows, when she's doing that work, that dog is going to make a tremendous difference in the life of so many people that need it, whether they're blind or whatever they are. And so the kudos go to those individuals that actually cause that to happen.
Right.
And then the dog itself as now the instrument, and that is an inspiration to having us really reflect on what a wonderful gift it is, and be thankful to everything that actually caused that to occur. We be simply thankful for those people that take the time to do that, and to do it so well, so that you results in these animals that are so capable of doing what they're supposed to do. And those teachers are phenomenal. And so it's an acknowledgement of how the human race is evolving in a spiritual way, that we are committed to the betterment of the human condition. We are committed to doing things that enlighten people to what the possibilities are. And I just it makes the world just so much of a better place to really understand the dynamics. It really does, and not be confused that it's something that it isn't, because what it truly is, it's always this demonstration of love. It's always this coming from, I'm doing something to make a difference for the betterment of the human condition, and you can't get much more than understanding how much love that really is.
Right, right, yeah, and when a dog does something for someone, and if that person gets it, and they are totally connected to their dog, that's a whole different ballgame. All of a sudden, you realize, my dog just acknowledged me. They bring you a toy or they bring you something, and you look at it, and oh, he wants to play. No, he's bringing you his gift. He's bringing you his precious possession, his very own toy. My little Charlie, which is as cute as button, he's 12 years old. He was a handful. He's a real pistol. Every time we go out, I tell him, oh, we're going to go out now. He rushes around and, let me see, what can I do? And he rushes and he goes and he gets a cookie or a bone or a toy, because he has to carry that with him when he goes outside, so that the very first person he sees, he gives it to him. He drops it right in front of him. So this is his gift. And I tell everybody, you have to thank him now. Make a big deal out of it, because this is important to him.
So you really, I get, Kathy, how much love it took to have a dog of that type, which was in a shelter, that you saved.
He was homeless. He was homeless, living with a homeless guy.
Your act of saving him, is the ultimate contribution.
He saved me.
That power that you did saved yourself.
Yes, absolutely, without a doubt.
Saved yourself.
And it's crazy you can have a relationship with a dog like that. You know, it really is a relationship.
Of course.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't everybody talk to their dog? I talk to him all the time. I'm always saying things like, listen, we've had this talk before, Charlie. Now, I don't know why I have to repeat it continuously. Did you not get it the first time? Tell me which part of it you didn't understand when I said you can't do this right now. But he challenges me all the time. Well, let me see if I can sneak around and Mom won't notice. Well, yeah, I do notice. But my heart goes out to him. I'll tell you when. And here's another empathy issue. I have one of those little webcams that I can view him when I'm away. And when I'm away, he's sitting at the door, not laying down. He's sitting straight up on a mat, leaning against the door, waiting for me to come home. He waits there like that, and he will do that for hours, not moving a muscle. He doesn't go and get a drink of water. He doesn't do anything, and it breaks my heart. No matter where I'm at, I'm always thinking, I got to get home. I got to get home, because I don't want him to be in that kind of, because to me, if he's missing me so much, I think that's pain to him. That, where's Mom? Where is Mom?
I actually think that he is creating. He knows what he's going to get. He knows the love he's going to receive, and he's thankful for it, and he's waiting for you to give it to him, and he's patient, and he's learning from that experience. It makes him who he is today by all of that experience. You're just, it's perfect, Kathy. You're doing everything.
Well, listen, after my husband died, and we always had dogs around, I've been a diehard dog lover for so many years. When it comes to the empathy issue and compassion, oh gosh, I mean, I go overboard. I know I'm a nutso when it comes to dogs, but hey, it is who I am, and I don't want to change. I like that I get empathetic. I like that I want to help a dog, and I don't care about the money.
No,
you got, if you see a dog, my God, why don't you help him? I don't get it. I still don't get it.
I think once again, part of getting it, Kathy, is letting go of the judgment and the consideration, understanding that most likely those beings that are like that have a life of their upsets. They just got up. Their wife had a anger because the bagel was burnt. The traffic. Oh my God, the 495. I can maybe has 2.5 hours on the street.
Get out of the way.
Yeah.
F you,
So that's right. So all those, everyone has an issue in a life, and you have to be in your expression of living SOS, and I talk about that, is certainly the idea of being understanding and forgiving and allowing that to be. And you could only change people's life through your demonstration of who you are, and you're doing that. But as soon as you start putting in anger and upset and judgment and consideration into the equation, then you create resistance. And then people just have to justify their ego. And so they have to justify it. Wait, you don't know how hard it is at home. You can't understand the problem I have with my daughter or my son or all this stuff that they have going on. It's their world. It's their universe. And we tend to think that they have to be just like us. And the only time to do that is when they transform and see the wisdom of the power of love.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask this now. What can we say to our fans and to our new friends? What can we say to them that will help them when they see a dog to take action instead of just taking a picture? How can we help them over that hump that says, forget about the money, forget about what it's going to cost. If you see a dog, help it. I don't know how you can't. I don't know how people can't.
Well, if they truly know that they're being presented with a gift, not an obligation. Not an obligation, right? So when they know that they're being presented a gift, now in order for them to do that, they have to understand their biology. They have to truly understand that when they go out of their way to be empathetic and contribute to something or anything, or that dog, they're going to get a big payoff, huge payoff. Now that doesn't mean that they have to take it and then take it home and all the other things that we plug in that you have to do in order to actually experience it. No, it's just that act of compassion, going over there, petting the dog, making it feel good, then making a choice. Then at least they're on their path of making what you would like them to see, which is take the dog to the hospital, take it somewhere where it needs to be healed, right? But one step at a time, and just be patient. And people just have to know that. Don't get that we're here to blame you. We understand your life. We understand who you are. And just understand the wonderful gift that you're being presented every time you see a problem and how you can actually be a solution for it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Kylie, I have a question. You being a millennial, I would imagine that all of you, that you have a lot of friends that love dogs and care for dogs. Have you ever run across a situation where you've heard of a dog that needed help and no one helped it?
Going back to like kind of what you were saying about, just taking a picture, I think that's something that's so prevalent in this like day and age is technology and, just taking a picture or taking a video instead of like taking action. And
I love this girl.
Right back at you.
Yeah, it's good to take a picture though. It's good to have a starting point. You could walk by it. You could do that. You could be in your head, and you could be thinking all this, the traffic and and you could be thinking, or you could just stop. You could look. You could feel. You could take a picture, and take the next step. But we want to just give you kind of the grease. We want to grease the possibility, and the grease is knowledge. You should know that when you do that, you are doing the purpose of the creation. You're going to experience love. You're going to get love through your act of contribution and making a difference to that dog. Mm-hmm. So go there, pet it, take a picture, do whatever it takes for you to do that, and understand that we get you're okay. You're okay. You know,
Yeah.
we have to get that. And things will get, as long as we as a human race evolve. And in your time, there's going to be phenomenal evolution, Kyle. Tremendous changes in the next 10, 20 years. And
Absolutely.
compassion and spirituality and science are all going to merge together. And there's going to be humans now all of a sudden living a much more spiritual life with the power, the engine, which is love.
Mhm.
And that's going to be transformative. And so I'm excited for you, terribly for you. And I'm so privileged to actually be still in this existence with you and with Kathy and the opportunity that's put ahead.
It's wild to think that, you know, like you were saying, that we are even in this moment, like communicating an intelligent thought with other people. You know what I mean by that? Like that seems like so small, but like in this grand scheme of things, like it's a really profound idea. You know what I mean? That we're like communicating about just this subject when there's like so many other things to talk about, but just that human interaction with each other is like enough to.
Oh yeah, this makes a difference. Makes a huge difference. The starting the communication process and letting people get to understand the possibility of the joy that you get from actually taking care of people, taking care of dogs, people, everybody else. The joy that comes from that, you can't hide from it. Now, you do it unconditionally. It becomes a habit. It becomes, and that's the idea: is do it so that it becomes a habit in your life, and you just give unconditionally. When you see something like that, or you see a homeless person, or you see someone that's in pain, you will automatically get to understand that you go over there and take care of them, and you will be benefiting from the process. Simple as that.
So I wonder what exactly the disconnect is for people who like either don't like animals or maybe like wouldn't go over and try to change the situation. Like is there like a lack of empathy or
you're hitting
a lack of understanding?
That's
probably,
it right there.
And they can't tap into
Educated.
that physical, or not physical, they can't tap into that emotion.
That's right.
It's not that they can't, but their mind is creating barriers for itself, when if they transcended those barriers, then I think they would be able to tap into that empathy.
Exactly. So imagine if the school system, early on childhood education, came to the kids and said, by the way, we want you to tell you something that's very, very profound and important here. That who you are as a body has a soul, and chemically your body is set up to be able to cause either two things: fear or love. And you are responsible for making those happen. And how you make love occur is by contributing. And be very specific about it. Your contribution causes chemicals to go to your brain to make you feel good and happy. So why would you not choose love instead of fear, instead of hate? Right? So you teach that to the children early. You do it with beautiful cartoons. You do it with education. You do it with getting people educated. That fundamental, because that will transform people's lives, children's lives. They may have had problems with their parents or their home. Their parents have issues going on in their own personal life, and the children now learn that they don't have to be that. They are an entity with all possibilities of making their lives better. So we teach them early, and all of a sudden their lives be better. The animals get taken care of. The world becomes the Garden of Eden that we expected it to be, and rather than create it to be hell, we create it to be heaven. And that's what.
Okay, well, here's a question. That was very good, Lou, and very good, Kylie. What do you think is the mentality of the person that feels it's okay to beat a dog, laugh about it, put him on fire?
Yes.
And they do that as a group. I see this all the time, and then they post it sometimes live on social media.
Yes.
What are they thinking? Where is this coming from? I don't understand it.
Well, I would, once again, if you break the distinctions out, people operate from fear or people operate from love. So their way of learning in their life from their parents and their environment has been to feel like they don't matter. So they have to prove to the world how powerful they are. So they think power is force. They think power is energy that is demonstrated through their screw you type of attitude. It's unfair that this is happening this way. I deserve better. Blah 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 blah. And let me prove it to you. I'm gonna burn a dog. Let me show you that. Or I'm gonna go in and shoot 11 people this week. So this is the human who is aberrated, has the problem of not understanding his true sense of who he is. They don't understand their biology. They don't understand their being, how they're made up, and they just run and operate from belief systems that have taught them these things. And unfortunately, from the year 1 to 7, all that programming is done in their environment. Most likely, their parents weren't so great. Maybe the issues of the community that they're in isn't so great. It hasn't evolved yet. There hasn't been compassion and understanding there. Yeah, all those things are the things that define that aberrated person.
I think that has to do with perspective. Like we all have our own perspective and our own path that we're living. Like I have my own story, you have your own, and I can never truly understand like your perspective and what you're going through. So I think that's where us as humans have to realize that if we are all like under that our own perspective, we have no room to judge, first of all, anyone else, because we don't know what they've been through. So I think that we can see these people who are like abusing these animals, and of course we're like, why would you do, like, we're like, you're crazy, why would you do that? But it comes a point for us to like elevate as humans and try to identify, okay, what's making this behavior happen? And even though we want to judge it, I feel like we don't know, like you were saying previously, maybe they had a bad childhood, or maybe they had some type of experience that made them this way. So I think instead of like attacking and being like trying to point the finger, like, okay, how do we better the situation and create a positive out of it? So I think at that point, like things like this and educating and talking about it is the first step to a groundbreaking result.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's absolutely right.
It's enlightenment.
You can't change hate by providing more hate.
Yeah,
you just fuel the flames with that. And so we, unfortunately, in this country, have go to solutions that we think are the right things to do. We incarcerate people for things that instead of rehabilitating and putting the energy and everything to educating and rehabilitating, we do that, and we teach them how not to forgive, and we teach them all the other things that that our race today on the world is still evolving and learning. The true power of love. And there have been lots of prophets out there, from Jesus to Muhammad to Buddha to everybody, that really got this enlightenment that it's all about love. It's not about hate. And we as humans have the choices to make to operate and live either in that realm, one or the other realms. But to know that you have the choice is the best part of the equation. Just to know that you are responsible for your perspective that unfolds your life. Just to know that is an extremely important education.
But you have to be cautious of that too. Sorry, Kathy, I didn't mean to interrupt you. But I think you have to be like, when you have that choice, you have to be cautious, because there's endless amounts of options of choices you could make. So we have to be like cautious and careful and mindful of what we're deciding to do.
So here's the what I tell my students about. So the point there is that you have two choices. You have the power of love. So the act that you do, is it contributing to something? So you ask that question. Or the other one is it making me be right? Is it making me? Is it making the choice that's making me that's stroking my ego? So there's two sides. One comes from fear. I got to be right. I got to know and the other one comes from love. And so you simply have to learn to ask that question: what is it that I'm doing that is demonstrating compassion and love? What is it that I'm doing that's demonstrating hate and upset and anger? Those are the two things. So anger, upset causes stress. Stress causes ailments. I'm one of those experiences. I've had that a lot of my life, where I experience ailments through the stress that I put onto myself. When I do love and I care for myself and for others, I nurture my universe, who I am. I'm 50 trillion cells makes me. And every cell has 100 trillion atoms in it. We are a universe. And we make the choices of how they are happy or sad. If they're happy, they work together. If they're not, they don't. And you end up hurting yourself.
Yeah. So, we're all energy, you know, and
we are
energy. You know, think about it. I use this example a lot. Like, if you think about a radio, if you want to tune to a certain station, obviously you tune that frequency to get a certain sound. Well, it's the same. It's the same with humans. We're all energy, and our energy can be changed in so many ways.
That's it. You got two channels, two main channels.
On and off.
Love, hate. Love, hate. Where do you want to go?
Well, you know, I have another good point on this. It also happens to be like the story that we tell ourselves. We have a tendency to tell ourselves story before we know any of the data. If you think about it, you can see a picture and we form an opinion, and the story comes from that.
That's the ego talking.
Exactly. And then that story, unfortunately, without proper data, gets transferred as an example. And then you tell somebody else about it, and then that person believes it, and it's totally not true at all. But it gets transferred over. So I know myself, I see a lot of times with dogs, someone will post a comment and they'll say, oh, this dog must have been. Well, just because they said must have, the person then assumes it did happen. So it escalates. It goes from, here's a picture of a dog that I'm going to show you. Like, let me just show you this one picture here. Look, show you this picture right here. You see this with the guy with his foot on the dog's head. I had over 80,000 people that had viewed it and over 1,000 comments just on that picture alone of people. Well, let's shoot the guy. Let's this and that. Nobody knows what the situation. It was a picture. Oh my gosh. But because nobody knows the real story.
Right.
And we
we do the Kathy. You're right on the mark. The problem that we have to understand ourselves about is that we have a large part of our programming that has been done repeats itself through the way we judge, the way we believe, the way we act. We're pretty robotic when it comes to that place. And it's only when we have a transformation and we become the observer of that we see that how our actions do that we are able to take control of that. So I say this, somebody in my family loves to communicate about the history and times of why we are who we are because of all of that's going on in the past. And he keeps on repeating that story over and over again, therefore serving his need of his ego to be right. And he can't figure out, he can't see the future when you're always driving with your rear view mirror. You're
right. Yeah. I want to show you one more picture here that I really got to me. We used to be your neighbors. There's some homeless guy with his dog. When I saw that, I thought to myself, you're absolutely right. We judge. He's letting us know, hey, don't judge me. I'm here. Be empathetic. Be compassionate towards me. Don't judge me because I'm homeless and I've got my dog here. And I had posted it again on on the Dog Connection, and people were responding that they would help. They would help, and I like that. What I love about our fans is they go the extra mile. They seem to have this. They're all dog lovers, and they
Well,
all.
if they're tuning in,
Yeah.
if they're tuning in, they get that their actions matter and that you matter.
Yeah.
So it's wonderful that we have this audience. I would love to be able to expand this, Kathy, so that we have more people.
Yeah.
The obligation of the audience is to share it. Simply share. We have a forum to
Right.
expand
Right.
the possibility of enlightenment.
Yeah, unfortunately, we had 4 people that were in the gallery, but they apparently they're not able to understand how to hook up the microphone and that, and it's a technology thing.
Yeah, it's a
But
technology.
if you guys have a minute, I want to show you guys a video, and stay on here. I'll be right back with you.
Where are you, Kyle? What part of the country are you?
So I'm in Phoenix, Arizona right now.
Now, wait. Okay, I'm going to share this. Here we go.
People walking by.
Yeah. And doing nothing.
Yeah, and doing nothing. But now, here's the thing. Now, what we want to make sure is that we're not serving people's judgments. Yeah. So we want to make sure that people aren't getting angry because we're stressing people out. So the idea is an observation that the possibility for all of those people to do exactly what this lady's doing is to going there and finding out that her petting and her empathy is making her feel good. She doesn't have to worry about what anybody else thinks about her. She's doing it unconditionally for someone, for something, for that dog that gives her the power of feeling better about herself. She's going to go on. She's going to go on the rest of her day, knowing that she truly matters. Her work will be done better. Her family will realize the love that she truly is, just by that act of what she just did.
It's a transmission of like. Oh, sorry. I was just going to say it's a transmission of like love and energy, though. Like just by her petting that dog, like that dog like felt the energy she was giving off, you know?
Yeah. That dog gets it. That dog is unconditional. He's nice. Hey, listen, he's not going there and saying, "Oh, look at another person walking by." There's another person walking by. No, it's just there, unconditional. You don't have to do anything for me. I'm here for you. I'm here to give you the gift.
Yes.
I'm here. You come here. Look, here's another guy. He's going to get how much love is being transformed right now. He's getting his compassion and thank you for the gift that you are. And his life is transformed. So that's the way we have to see. We have to see the dogs and any gift that on this planet that God has put there for us is a gift. And all we have to do is initiate it.
Now this guy is a homeless guy and he's helping.
It's wonderful. Well, he gets it. He gets his own experience, life experience,
right.
And how hard and difficult it is. Now we understand that. I mean, I make it my mission today in my life to go out of my way. I do the things that I do to bring joy into the lives of those that can't experience the joy that most of us have. And so I understand that, but I understand truly it's a privilege. It's a privilege to be able to do this because my knowledge, my understanding myself and how things work, it's now a privilege to be able to go there and feed this dog.
Yeah. And he brought a bowl for him too. Did you see that? So
he brought a bowl. Yeah.
He was prepared.
He must have seen the dog.
Is that a teddy bear? Somebody brought a teddy bear?
Wow.
Or another little dog. Is that cute?
Amazing, huh? He barely had anything, but still brought food and a toy. So he, like I said, he must have seen him, and then he went and uh, got him something. Now, is that great or what?
Yeah.
That was a good one.
There you go.
Yeah. So isn't that?
Yeah. Give yourself a gift. Give yourself a gift when you see a dog in pain or anything in pain. Go over there and be empathetic and enjoy the experience, because you are giving yourself a gift.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know, now the girl that was the first girl that came up, I bet that she went to her office or to her friends or whatever, and she repeated the story of how this poor dog was out on the street.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's one thing we all need to do, is we need to share about the dogs that we see that are having a problem. And if she could have done something, I bet she would have. Who knows? Maybe later on she came back.
Yeah, she made it back. That's right. It's all possibility. Now, sharing, by the way, unfortunately, today technology allows you to do that. It's not a bad idea to take a picture and put it on your Facebook page. By the way, take a look at this poor. Does anybody know? This street, this area, and it's there. And if you have the ability to have a dog, it's waiting for you. The gift is there. The gift is there for you. Yeah.
So I wonder, like, because I think for a lot of people, and this is going back to things we were talking about in the beginning of the conversation, that there's like a sense of obligation. Maybe people don't have the money or whatever the case may be to take care of that dog or animal. But I think that it's not necessarily feeling obligation. I guess the next step would maybe be bringing that animal to a shelter or whatever the case may be, just trying to make some difference. It doesn't mean you have to take it home with you.
That's right. That's right.
You know, taking that next step to better the situation.
I agree with you. I think the construct there is, if I go over there, I'm going to be obliged to take it home.
Mm-hmm.
No, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that.
I have a graphic that just supports what you're saying right there, Kylie.
Okay.
This is, if you think about it, every time you see somebody or you see a dog that's in a shelter, do people really get that? What did I put here? I once had my own home, my own family, my own bed, lots of friends, and I was loved. I have a good heart. I feel, I suffer. I love just like you. Why am I here? I don't understand. Do you? You know, what are they thinking? And that is a perception that people have when they go to a shelter, that it's like a low life, or it's something wrong with them.
Well, those are, again, the judgment that human beings, if they end up going to a shelter, that's one huge step. Just the act of going to the shelters is a huge step. Yeah. Once you're there, then the question may be, are you looking at doing this to stroke your own ego? Like, I'm going to do this because I know people will like me for doing this. Mm-hmm. See, and that's the wrong thing to do.
Right. Yeah.
You gotta look at me.
Yeah. It's all about the stroking of your ego again, right? I'll be somebody special. I can always brag to my friends. I went to shelters and got dogs out. I did this.
I donated. Yeah.
I donated. That's right. I gave.
I think that's people kind of needing validation in that moment when, like, it should be a selfless act, but they're making it about themselves.
Again, I don't want to put a judgment into people's head about this, because it obviously, the person that does that way has issues, their own issue. Her own ego is hurt. She doesn't know how to heal her own ego. She doesn't know how to take care of it. She doesn't know how to collaborate with it. She just doesn't know that. It's simple ignorance. All we could do is let people know that it doesn't have to be that way. They could be joyful. They could have a life of love and joy and satisfaction in their life, just by understanding that they come from love when they make choices and not hate.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Okay,
very good.
What a good show.
What a good show.
Thank you,
everyone.
Very
By the
good.
way, I forgot
Kyle,
at the beginning. I forgot to give you guys your.
All right, take one over here.
I got a punching bag here for those that beat up dogs. So
let out the anger, let some steam off.
Yeah, everybody should get a punching bag. Maybe
Lots of ways to do it. Take a
Yeah.
long walk.
Yeah, right?
Jump in a pool. Go do
We all have
something.
our own ways.
Very good.
Okay,
Thank you, everybody.
Namaste. Thank you.
Kathy, it was awesome. Thank you so much for having.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you so much, Cal. See you.
All right, nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone. Bye.